Welcome to The Explainer, where we distill complex topics into clear, actionable insights. Today, we're diving into the entrepreneur's playbook, and we're going to focus on the three pillars that are just absolutely essential for success. You know, it's the question that probably keeps a lot of aspiring founders up at night. Is there some kind of secret formula, a single stroke of genius? Well, the answer, as we're about to see, isn't some big secret, but something much more reliable. A stable, strong foundation. So, what does that foundation actually look like? This is where a really powerful model comes into play. I want you to think of your business venture as a three-legged stool. If any one of these legs, leadership, communication, or execution, is wobbly, or worse, just plain missing, the whole thing just tips right over. This idea, which is inspired by this really great French training program for entrepreneurs, gives us a clear roadmap for building that stability. Okay, so the first and, you could argue, the most critical leg of the stool is leadership. And this isn't about having a fancy title or just being the boss. No, it's all about who you are, right at your core, your vision, your values, and maybe most importantly, your resilience when things inevitably get tough. What becomes really clear when you look at this is that leadership isn't just one single thing. It's this dynamic mix of all these traits. A truly great leader, they can see the future, sure, but they can also get a team excited to actually go and build it. They're decisive, but they're also willing to adapt. They inspire people, but they also take full 100% responsibility. It's that blend that creates real, lasting influence. And wow, the stakes here could not be higher. This contrast just lays it all out. Good leadership isn't some nice to have. It is the engine for growth, for innovation, for attracting the best people to your cause. And on the flip side, bad leadership, it's a direct path to stagnation, demotivated teams, and let's be honest, probably failure. Its impact is felt absolutely everywhere in the business. I mean, just think about a leader like Coco Chanel. She didn't just sell clothes or perfume, she sold a vision of a new kind of woman. She completely revolutionized an entire industry because she built an empire on her totally unique perspective and her refusal to be anything but different. That right there is the power of visionary leadership in action. All right, so let's move on to the second leg of our stool and see how this all connects. Because having a world-changing vision is frankly useless if you can't communicate it. This is all about the how you translate that vision you have in your head into real-world influence. So a pitch, it's not just a casual chat about your cool idea. Not at all. It's a strategic tool. Think of it like a piece of communication that's been engineered to get a specific result. Whether you're talking to an investor, a customer, or a new hire, that pitch has a very specific job to do. So how do you build a great one? Well, the most powerful pitches, they aren't just random streams of consciousness. They follow a structure. This really clear four-part framework is designed to walk your audience from being vaguely interested all the way to taking a concrete action. You start with a hook that grabs them, you end with a super clear ask, and in the middle, you deliver your promise and the proof to back it all up. But here's the thing. It's not just what you say. Real, true impact happens when your verbal message, the what, is perfectly in sync with all your nonverbal cues. The how. Your posture, your confidence, your physical presence. All of that can either make your words 10 times more powerful, or it can completely undermine them. When those two channels are working together, your message just becomes incredibly persuasive. And that brings us to the final stabilizing leg of our stool. This is the pillar that takes your brilliant vision and your powerful communication and grounds it all in reality. And that is disciplined execution, which all starts with excellent time management. If you don't have a system for managing your time and your priorities, you are running a huge risk of getting stuck in this reactive loop. You spend all your energy putting out little urgent fires, which feels productive, but it stops you from ever focusing on the big, important work that's actually going to drive long-term growth. Okay, so how do you break out of that cycle? You use a simple, but honestly game-changing tool like the Eisenhower matrix. It just forces you to categorize every single task by asking two simple questions. Is it urgent? And is it important? So if something is both urgent and important, you do it first. It's a crisis. If it's urgent but not important, Delegate it. But here's the magic quadrant, the stuff that's important but not yet urgent. That's your strategic work, your planning, relationship building. That's the stuff you schedule. And the goal is to live in that box as much as humanly possible. And to really win at this, you have to know your enemy. We all face these time thieves every single day, right? The constant notifications, those meetings that go nowhere, trying to multitask. Recognizing these things for what they are, just distractions from what actually matters, that is the very first step to taking back control of your time and your focus. All right, now we bring it all home. Because like we said at the beginning, a stool with just one or two legs is always going to be wobbly. Real, sustainable strength comes from the synergy of all three of these pillars working together in total harmony. And the difference is it's night and day. When these pillars are all working together, you get clear priorities, you get strategic planning, you build real momentum. But when they're out of whack, you get micromanagement and that reactive firefighting we talked about. It's a state of constant chaos where you feel incredibly busy, but you're not actually making any real progress. So it really all comes down to this. Your leadership defines the direction. Your communication builds the momentum to get there. And your execution, that's what makes it all real. You simply cannot have lasting success without all three working together perfectly. So as you move forward on your own journey, there is really no better question to ask yourself. Is your vision crystal clear? Is your communication really making an impact? Is your execution disciplined? Just thinking about which of these three pillars needs the most attention right now, well, that's the first real step towards building a venture that's not just successful, but truly stable and resilient.